What if I told you that in 2026, having $500 million can actually make you feel a little underdressed? Not broke. Just like you showed up to a black tie event wearing a really nice suit, while everyone else owns the building. Sounds crazy, right? Because to 99% of people, $500 million is the finish line. That's generational wealth. That's your bloodline is good forever money. But step into the world of billionaires, royals, and global elites, and suddenly you're not the main character anymore. You're just in the room, and that room is expensive. So let's really break this down. What a $500 million lifestyle actually looks like in 2026, how fast it burns, and why some people at this level are way more careful than you'd expect. Because this isn't just luxury, this is a financial endurance test. Let's start with homes, because this is where most people imagine the money goes. And they're right, but not in the way you think. At this level, you don't buy a dream house. You build a network of homes. You've got your main base, maybe in Los Angeles, Dubai, or London. Then a summer place, maybe the south of France. A winter escape, Aspen or Switzerland. And something tropical, Maldives, Bahamas, take your pick. Suddenly you've got 5, 6, even 8 properties. And each one isn't just luxury, it's ultra-luxury. We're talking architecture firms, custom interiors, imported materials, museum-level art collections. Look at Mukesh Ambani. His residence needs hundreds of staff just to operate daily. Or Mohammed bin Salman. His estates are designed with security, privacy, and power in mind. Now imagine trying to maintain even a scaled-down version of that with $500 million. Here's the reality check. Each high-end property can cost $3 to $10 million per year just to maintain. Security, repairs, staff, utilities, it adds up fast. And yes, even if you're not there. So congratulations, you now own homes you barely live in that still charge you millions annually. That's when you realize you don't own the houses. The houses own you. Now let's talk about staff, because this part gets overlooked. At this level, your life runs like a private company. You've got a house manager, executive assistant, chef, driver, security detail, trainers, and depending on how elite you want to live, you might even have specialists, art advisors, travel planners, stylists. It's not unusual to spend $5 to $15 million a year on staff alone. That's payroll. You're literally funding careers just to maintain your lifestyle. And don't get me wrong, it's convenient. But it also means your life has overhead. A lot of overhead. Now let's move to transportation, because this is where things quietly spiral. At $500 million, commercial flights feel like punishment. So you go private. Now here's where it gets funny. People think owning a jet is the ultimate goal. But people who actually have money, they sometimes avoid owning one, because it's a financial black hole. A Gulfstream G700 might cost around $75 million, but the real pain is the $5 to $7 million per year just to keep it running. Fuel, crew, maintenance, insurance, even when it's sitting there doing nothing, it's costing you money. That's why even people like Kylie Jenner get criticized for how often they use their jets. It's not just luxury, it's burn rate on display. And then there's someone like Cristiano Ronaldo, who balances usage carefully despite having the means. Because at this level, it's not about, can I afford it? It's about, does this make financial sense? Now let's talk about yachts, because this is where logic completely leaves the conversation. A super yacht is not an investment, it's not practical, it's not efficient. It's a statement, a very expensive one. A $100 million yacht? Expect about $10 million a year in maintenance. Crew salaries, docking fees, fuel, repairs. It's like owning a luxury hotel that only you use. People like Roman Abramovich turned yachts into floating symbols of power. Because in elite circles where everyone is rich, you need something to stand out. And apparently that something floats. Now here's something people don't talk about enough: social pressure. At $500 million, you're rich. But your circle? They might be worth $5 billion, $10 billion, more, and that changes everything. Because now your $20 million mansion feels normal. Your $2 million car? Entry level. Your vacation? Standard. Imagine hanging out with people who casually spend $100 million on a single project. Suddenly, you start upgrading, not because you need to, but because you don't want to look small. That's how lifestyle inflation happens at the highest level. And it's dangerous, because your spending isn't based on your wealth anymore. It's based on your environment. Let's talk about luxury spending, because this adds up faster than people think. Cars? A serious collection. Bugatti, Rolls-Royce, Ferrari can easily hit $50 million. Look at Floyd Mayweather Jr. He literally buys cars in bulk, like people buy sneakers. Watches? Rare pieces from brands like Patek Philippe or Richard Mille can cost millions each. Some collectors drop $10 to $20 million just on watches. Art? This is where things get interesting. Ultra-wealthy individuals don't just buy art for decoration, they use it as a store of value. A single painting can cost $50 million, and sometimes appreciate over time. It's not just spending, it's strategic spending. And then there's experiences, private islands, last-minute trips across the world, booking entire resorts for privacy. You're not just paying for luxury anymore. You're paying for control of space and time. Now here's the big question. How fast does all of this burn through $500 million? Let's do a rough breakdown. Homes and maintenance, $20 to $40 million a year. Staff, $5 to $15 million. Private aviation, $5 to $10 million. Yacht, $5 to $15 million. Lifestyle spending, $10, $20 million. You're easily looking at $50 to $100 million per year. Let that sink in. Even if you're worth $500 million, that gives you maybe 5 to 10 years if your money isn't growing. That's not forever. That's a timer. And this is why some people at this level quietly shift strategies. Instead of spending everything, they invest aggressively. They build businesses. They focus on multiplying wealth instead of displaying it. Because the real difference between $500 million and $1 billion isn't lifestyle. It's leverage. It's ownership. It's influence. That's why you'll see some ultra-wealthy individuals living surprisingly low-key. Not because they can't spend, but because they understand the game. So now I want to ask you something. Be honest. If you had $500 million right now, would you go all in on this lifestyle? The mansions, jets, yachts, collections, the image? Or would you slow down, invest, and try to build something bigger? Because now you see the truth. At this level, money isn't just about freedom. It's about how long you can survive in a world where everything is designed to drain you. If this opened your eyes even just a little, hit that like button. And subscribe if you want more deep dives into how wealth really works in 2026, the stuff people don't usually talk about. Because trust me, the higher you go, the more expensive it gets just to stay there. Thank you for watching.